I'm going to be doing a video review on my Taurus PT 840 chambered in 40 Smith & Wesson. And I'm not going to do really a technical overview in terms of specs. I'm just going to talk about my experience, some of the things I like about this particular firearm, some of the things I don't love, and then talk about why I chose to go with the Taurus versus some of the quote-unquote more popular firearm manufacturers out there. So the firearm has been safety checked, so it is unloaded. Both magazines are here. So when you purchase the firearm, it comes in this hard plastic case, which is definitely a step up. Taurus used to, when you buy a firearm, they'd give you a cheap, junky box, so this is definitely pretty cool. And when you buy it, obviously gun here comes with a cleaning brush, which I've never used in any of my Tauruses. It's not very, the bristles are really kind of, it's more of like a, I don't know, just I guess kind of a cheapy throw-in freebie. Two magazines here. It actually comes with a speed loader, which I've never used because I have a Butler Creek one that I just like a lot more. I can't even actually find it at the moment. So one feature that really sold me on this firearm was the fact that these back straps are adjustable. So small, medium, and large. I currently have the small one on now, it just fits my hands the best. And two come in the case here. And like I said, I mean, that's definitely a selling feature for me. And it also comes with two keys. And you've got the Taurus, it's a proprietary locking system that Taurus has on their firearms. I'll show you here in a minute. And then there's also a punch here. And this punch actually just goes right here, knocks out that pin, and you can adjust the back straps there. So definitely a cool feature. So I'm going to go through just some of the safety stuff on this particular firearm. So it's got your external frame safety here, just a flip up standard safety, and another safety feature that this particular firearm has as well. It has a decocking feature, so you drop that safety all the way down, and that'll decock the firearm. And then the key that I showed you here. So Taurus has this really cool patented locking mechanism here that pretty much is on, I would say, every single one of their new firearms. And you just pop this key in here, twist it counterclockwise a full turn, and essentially what it does is it just completely renders the firearm useless. Locks the trigger and firing pin, and you can't do anything unless you unlock it with this key here. So that's a cool feature if you've got it stored, or if you're shipping it, like if you're traveling and you're packed on a plane. That's definitely a cool feature. Or you can leave it in a car, let's just say you do that. So anyways, a lot of people call this a full frame pistol. A full frame firearm. I beg to differ. I think it's probably more a medium frame. I call a full frame firearm, 1911 more of a full frame firearm. There's some other competition type style pistols out there that would be considered more of a full frame. So one thing that really I liked about this was the second I put it in my hands, it felt good. It felt, sometimes when you're gripping some of those other firearms like Glocks and even the Berettas, they just really kind of have that cheese block feel in your hand. It just feels like you're kind of grabbing onto a brick. So, and with my particular hand size, which is I would call medium, it's nice not only having these adjustable back straps, but also, just the ergonomics of it. It's definitely great. And, it's very balanced, so it doesn't feel like, for the size of the firearm, it doesn't feel like it's nose heavy, or it doesn't feel like it's, top heavy in terms of wanting to fall to the right or left of your hand. It just feels very well balanced. And part of that is because you're able to get such a high grip up here into this tang, into this beaver tail. So, as far as breakdown, very similar to the Glocks here and Smith & Wesson's. It's got dual-sided. Oh, another cool feature too is it's actually ambidextrous, so you can use it for right and left hands. And it's got the slide lock here and the safety, and then also it's mirrored on the other side as well as the takedown. So that's definitely a pretty cool feature. So So that's the firearm in general, and a couple things that I love about the firearm personally is the fact that I paid $350 for it. And a lot of people hate on Taurus, but I've got quite a few Taurus firearms, and I've never had any problems with them per se. I have had issues here and there with them, but I think any gun that you put 1,000 or 2,000 rounds through, you're going to have you're going to start to see some age or some wear on it. So the price tag was great, $350, plus 9% tax or whatever it may be. So really not a bad deal whatsoever. Two magazines, they're both would be considered high capacity, so 15 rounds. So two 15-round magazines right here. And I probably have about 200 rounds through this. About 100 of those would be the Winchester Law Enforcement Ammunition Ranger. They're relatively inexpensive, a round that's been around for a very long time and is effective. So those are actually 135 grain. Those are Jack and Hollow points. And then the other 100 rounds I've put through it would be just like your standard Federal Walmart brand, kind of cheapy ammo. So I did have, out of the 200 rounds, I had a failure to go in battery, and I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but basically what happened was when I fired, it was probably around right as I got into the Federal full metal jackets. When I fired, probably my first magazine, I had one particular time where the slide did not go back into full battery, meaning it did not go forward all the way. So I had to just, slap the back of it to get it back into battery, which I think that's just a part of it being a new firearm. I've had firearms in the past do that, and it could just be part of the break-in period. So anyways, like I said, I mean, for the price and, Taurus has not always been a great firearm manufacturer, but they've absolutely got the technology and the money. And they're actually South America's, so the South American Army and a lot of the law enforcement agencies, this particular firearm, literally this firearm here, this is their standard issued sidearm. So I'd say that for them to stake their not only the safety of their country, but of their cities and states, or province or regions, whatever you call it, I would say that it's a pretty well manufactured firearm. So it's got a rail here, which definitely is a plus for me. I know most do, but I purchased this cheapy. It's a NC Star tactical flashlight here, and it actually mounts up pretty well here. I'm gonna try and get this on here without shutting my camera off. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. So mounts on real well. It's very sturdy, and I'm able to get to the switch here pretty easily. And I don't know. I think it makes the gun kind of look badass, but so, anyways, one thing I found that was kind of a downside was the fact that the magazines, and maybe you can hear this, they rattle a bit, so they don't really seem like they're seated incredibly tight in there, which maybe is a good thing and a bad thing. I don't know. I don't really use this as a concealed carry, so I'm not too concerned about sneaking up on someone. That hasn't proven to be an issue yet. So anyways, I chose to go with the Taurus versus the Smith & Wesson MMPs, Glock 17. I'm sorry, Glock 23, I believe, and then the Beretta, because the price. I mean, $350. I've had several Tauruses in the past. Most, I'd say, I had one issue, manufacturer problem with one, but they were very quick about getting it fixed and getting it back to me. That was quite a few years ago. But so far, they've been very reliable for me, and also the fact that the price. I mean, and it's a really cool looking gun, and it feels great in my hands. So, and it just fired well. As far as accuracy, it's very accurate. I even pushed it out to about 20 yards or so, and 25 yards, and I was still hitting paper on kind of your standard T2 target. So anyways, I think that's it. I think I've covered it all. If you think of anything else, have any questions, feel free to ask. And, I'll maybe get another review here up once I've got a couple hundred more rounds through it. So, all right. Thanks a lot, guys.